welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Courtney and I have not posted on this channel in a very long time, but I am still a Gen X stay-at-home mom and housewife, and on this channel I share little bits of my life, and those bits include planning, and that is what we are going to talk about today. So I've been trying to make this video forever, and I think I actually recorded it once, and I'm not sure what happened to the footage, but anyway, life has been complicated as of late. And yeah, with those complications come some changes that I'm considering making to my planner system. I don't know. I thought maybe we would have a little chat about it. But first, I wanted to kind of do a review of what I used in quarter 1 and how it worked for me. So, if you watched my like planner video, I can't remember what it was called, but basically what I had intended to use for 2023 in terms of planners, I will link that video somewhere up on the screen. I think that I started the year in a Hobonichi Weeks. Sorry, that's our dog. A Hobonichi Weeks, um, a cut down Hobonichi Cousin. I had it cut down to standard size, and my A5 rings. That's really the 3 planners that I kind of had in the rotation for planning itself. Then I also had a notebook that I was using as kind of a bullet journal for tracking like all of my reading stuff. And then I also had one that I was using to like plan out my goals for the year and kind of plot what I wanted to do. But those, even though one is kind of like technically I've been using it to plan, I didn't really include those in my planner lineup officially because they were sort of things that I like dipped in and out of, not anything that I was using every day. So I am going to flip the camera around and show you those things, and then maybe talk about some other things that I'm considering, kind of, even though we are um, like a month, 2 months. What's quarter 2? January, February, March is quarter 1. So we're like halfway through quarter 2. And I'm contemplating switching up some things for June, and that is just because of the nature of my life right now. But we'll talk about it a little bit more later in the video. Right now, I'm going to flip the camera down, tabletop view, so we can look at what I've been using. So if that is interesting to you, then just keep watching. Okay, this is my stack from the beginning of the year. And I'll start with this one. So this one I set up as my reading journal. I am still using it, although I am a little bit behind because I hit a reading slump last month, I think. So basically, I just print out the covers of the books, give it a star rating, write a little something about it, and that's really all there is to it. And I have actually really been enjoying doing this. I usually will collage the photos and send them to, like, I haven't written the synopsis for these, But I just send them to Walgreens. And you can kind of see where I'm behind a little bit. I have the pictures, I just haven't made the time to catch up. And April is where I hit my slump. I only read 4 books last month, and so far this month I started one and I haven't finished it. So this is kind of my setup for May. But I am still using it. I am still enjoying it a lot. I just need to find a book that breaks me out of my slump, I think. So yeah, still using that, still like it. Now I'm trying to think. The other thing, so I was in A5 all of last year. I think I started the year in my A5 Stology, maybe. And then I switched to A5 Rings. This is a Moterm Veg Tan cover. This is chestnut. I love this cover. I love this planner. And yeah, I still have my inserts in it. I just haven't had a need for it. You can see I did put 2023 monthly inserts in here. Kind of tried to set it up in a way that I thought I would use it, and I just haven't. I haven't even been using like the meal planning section that I set up. I've just been making a list on a piece of paper. So still have this, still love it. One day we'll probably go back into it, but I just don't need it right now. And that, I think, is mostly due to its size. I don't know if I mentioned, but I am watching my grandson 4 days a week while my daughter is at work. And because I have the baby, he's 8 months old. And because when I have him, I also have his diaper bag. I usually still carry, like, my everyday purse has been like a tote bag for ever practically, or at least since I had Rowan 10 years ago. But so this could fit in my tote bag and I could carry it around and it was fine. But when I have the baby, I have his diaper bag. And so I'm using a smaller purse because it's just too much stuff to carry. So this I just have on a shelf, and I'm sure it will float back into my life at some point. The other thing I'm using is my Hobonichi Weeks. This is in a Moterm cover. I have my cards over here, so I'm just covering them up. This is the plaid one, and then I just stuck this like iron-on patch on the front, but I'm still using this. I use the monthlies. I will, throw some deco on there once the month begins, but I mean, I don't, I will cross things off. I add things as I need them, and then I use the weeklies. I will add some washi or stickers if I have it. I don't always have anything to add. I do like having this in case I need it. I mean, I do put stuff on my monthlies, which is why I really wanted it. I do use my weeklies as well, but not as much as I used to. I've started trying to use them for pre-planning. I'm kind of overhauling the way that I plan. I haven't done much with the notes pages, but I do still carry this in my bag. It's also my wallet. So, and this is the original version, so it doesn't have a back pocket. It's fine. On the occasions when I have cash, I just tuck it back here. My cards are up front, and it's just easy to keep with me. I made this little dashboard. I have sticky notes on it, so if I need to grab something to kind of scratch a note out or scribble something down, I do have that. So I am still using this. Then the other thing that I was using was this notebook for goal setting. So I had some very definitive goals at the beginning of the year, and I was using this to kind of map everything out. Can see I wasn't using it really very effectively in the first 12 weeks of the year. So I rethought, is that what I want to say? So I started thinking again about a better way to use it. So I'm trying out the 12-week year again. I sort of laid down some intentions for the second 12-week year. I have the 12-week year goals up here, and then goals for each month, and then the weeks of each month. So now that I am decorating it and I have it set up with a little bit more foundation, I'm using it more, and it is becoming a little bit more helpful. I use this in conjunction with a Kanban board to kind of break down my goals. And then the other thing that I started using at the beginning of the year was a Hobonichi Cousin. I had it cut down to standard size, and I actually really love it. So you do lose some space, so these pages aren't really functional for me because part of them is cut off. But on the monthly, so you lose the like sidebar on the left and the Sunday column on the right when you cut it down to standard size. So I just split my Saturday into Saturday and Sunday. We don't tend to have a lot to do on the weekends. So that works for me, but you know, if you're a person who has a lot of activity scheduled on the weekend, it might not be enough space for you. So yeah, those are my monthlies. I use them, and then just kind of goes into the week. I do the same thing. I split my Saturday into Saturday and Sunday. That is enough space for me, and I'm enjoying being in a cousin this size. And then for my daily pages, it sort of is the same. So I've used them a couple of different ways. I've used them for lists. I've used them for journaling. I've used them like with a time day when I need it. And yeah, I like it still. And then for my memory keeping, I am using the Travelers Company week on 2-page vertical inserts. The year is split into 2 books. So this is January through June, I think, or the end of June. And then this is July through December. And all I do is jot little things about the week, and then once again I will collage some photos and send them out and then go back in with the photos. This is sort of really like lazy slacker memory keeping, and it is working for me. um, I have some catching up to do. As you can see, I have these pictures. I have not put them in yet, but that's really kind of all that I do. It's very easy, very simple, and I like having it with my cousin. I like having this together because it makes it easier for me to do. And the more complicated I make things, um, the easier it is to talk myself out of doing them. So now, that is sort of what I started the year in. Then I got influenced from Instagram and YouTube to pick up this little cutie. So this is a Moleskine daily pocket planner. I have it in this like A6TN. I'm not really big on like deco in my pockets and all that stuff. I don't know. I used to be, and now I just don't really care. I have this set up. It is like cute and a little bit messy, and I am completely in love with it. When the month is over, I put a sticker over that month. The monthlies are on one page, so they're not super functional because that's very tiny space. So I'm not really relying on them for that. I threw in some trackers to track my cycle and my blood sugar. And then I did a little bit of back planning because I don't think I got this until March. So I did go in and kind of fill in some days at the beginning of the year to try to figure out how I wanted to use it. And I basically just use it for whatever, notes about the day, things I need to do that day. I will chuck this into my bag. And it's been going with me. So I will have like this and this in my bag, and it's not too much. I do wish there was a way that I could use this without using my weeks. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that. But yeah, I really love this little thing, and I want to keep using it. I just don't know how. I mean, some days I'm duplicating things, and that's fine for now because I'm not super busy and it's something I enjoy doing, but I don't think that that's something that I can maintain all the time. So I don't know if like at some point I just want to like tip in a little weekly and kind of run off of that. And then there are enough pages in the front where I could buy like a pocket month on 2 pages and put them in the front, and then that would give me, I mean, I'd lose like these pages, but I'm not, you know, I wasn't really like using all of these extra pages anyway, and then that would give me like a way to have a functional monthly in here because I do really need a monthly calendar. I like to have a weekly, but monthly and daily are the two things that I absolutely have to have. Um, so that is sort of my system. It's really like these three things. And that has, I don't want to say that that hasn't been working because it has been. However, um, I am going through some things in my life, and I feel like whenever I feel overwhelmed, I naturally gravitate towards rings because that helps me like break down everything that's going on in my brain. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. So one of the main changes in my life is that my father is 92. He'll be 93 next month. And he is like earlier in the spring, we had to make the decision that he could not be given the level of care that he needs at home, which is where he was still living at home. And so he is in a long term care facility at this point. And I am the person who I'm like the point person on his care plan. I'm his power of attorney and all of that. And it just seems like every other day I'm, fielding phone calls from different doctors, different therapists. I'm getting updates. I'm getting requests for information that they need from us, like getting the insurance stuff worked out and his finances and all of that. Um, and so I've been feeling like I need, and most of the time I will kind of just take notes in my weeks, which is fine. But I'm feeling like I would much rather have a specific location for all of those things, so that I'm not kind of flipping through pages and trying to find contact people and all of that. So my A5 rings are too big to put in my bag, and so I've been feeling the itch to go back into my personal rings, which I was in, I think 2019 maybe, and maybe 2021. I can't remember. Um, anyway, I'm in the process of setting this up, so I've kind of pulled this apart. This was the last, um, I have a few different ring planners, and this was the last cover that I was in. But I did pull this out and kind of plan my week on here, and it was really convenient. Um, and the other thing that I've been thinking about is I have this notebook set up with my goals and kind of some projects, and it has been really fantastic to have the space to kind of spread out and like think about things. But I have been having trouble pulling like the action steps or the breakdown of these goals and projects into my weeks, my weekly planning, which means that I'm not always pulling it into my days. So when I remember to check my goal planner, it may be like Wednesday or Thursday, and I've forgotten, like, oh, I wanted to do these things towards, this goal this week. And so I really like these inserts, which are from the Planner Room shop, which are kind of giving me a little bit of space. I just kind of played around with them, but I do think that they're going to give me some space to make sure that I'm adding the steps from my goal planner into my week, so that I can check my progress more than I have been, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm kind of rambling. And then I can also create a section that is specifically for the stuff I need for my dad. And then I also have this pocket in this. This is a VDS. Because I'm often asked to bring in like certain pieces of paperwork or mail or documents or whatever, and I can, because this will fit an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, I can have the things that I need in here. So yeah, here's like a full size sheet of paper, and I can have access to those things when I need them. So I'm sort of in the process of setting this up. I'm setting it up slowly. I did print a bunch of inserts and cut them. I have some other ones that I need to print or download and print that I just bought. But we had a snafu with the printer last night. It was the whole big drama. So I didn't get to finish printing those things and setting it up. So I think what I am going to rely on going into June is my personal rings and my pocket daily. I think that I may move because I have card slots in here. I also have I may end up in my Moterm, which I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Oh, here it is. But the Moterm covers Flyleaf has all of these extra pockets, so I could carry rings as my wallet and move out of here. So I think like for my planning system, it's going to be rings and a pocket. And then I'm going to continue using my cousin and my weekly inserts more as memory keeping. So my weeklies are more of like an exact record of what I did that week versus the things I'm planning on doing. These are the things that like I actually did. And then I have been relying on my daily pages as more of a journal and or commonplace book versus like a daily schedule or daily to-do list or any of that. And then of course my memory keeping. So I'm going to continue doing that in this, just using my daily pages as more of my journal, this as memory keeping, and then this is sort of an exact snapshot of what I did that week. So we will see how this all turns out coming up. I will keep you posted. And if you are still in the planners that you're using, you started using at the beginning of the year, let me know. Have you switched up your system? Let me know about that as well. Do you prefer like bound? I like bound books, but I also really like rings. So here we are. But yeah, I would love to chat with you in the comments. So leave me a comment down below if you have made it this far listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. If you would like to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Tap the notification bell if you want to be notified of when I upload. The light is fading, so I am going to say goodbye, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.